Chisom and Amanda were lovely twins. They were one of the best twins in the streets. Everyone admired them and wished their children would be like them. They did everything together and never hid anything from each other. Chisom and Amanda lived with their parents in a small home where they also had their grandmother and a little brother. They were both the eldest and were also concerned about how they would take care of their family from grace to grace. Sometimes they would hustle, but their parents would stop them and tell them to focus on school. They attended one of the cheapest schools in the community because their parents had a lot of responsibilities and didn't have enough money. But the twins didn't mind, but loved and appreciated their parents even more. Chisom and Amanda loved each other so dearly, and no one dared stand in between them. Their parents also respected them and were never partial with them. They were the joy giver in their home, and everywhere they went, people admired them. They were about rounding up with their secondary school level. They never dated anyone throughout their secondary school because they didn't want anything that would separate them, because they always wanted to be with each other and do everything together. One fateful day, their teacher gave an announcement that some organizations were willing to sponsor 5 intelligent students. An exam would be set for everyone, but only 5 top best would be sponsored to one of the best universities named Dell University. Dell University was one of the best universities and everyone wished to go there, including Chisom and Amanda. So they did everything they could, and of course, they studied together day and night. 3 days later, they wrote the exam, and one was selected. Chisom got selected while Amanda did not. Chisom was full of joy, and when they got home from school, she immediately shared the news to her parents. Her hyper joy got Amanda really infuriated, and she felt left out. But Chisom always tried to cheer her up, promising her that it doesn't change anything and that their love will always remain. But Amanda turned deaf ears and walked out, telling her to go for all she cares, which got Chisom sad. So she told her parents that she would decline the scholarship, but her parents scolded her and told her never to say such again. One day, their grandmother called the both of them and sat them down. She talked to them about purpose and destinies in life. She emphasized that yes, they are twins, but doesn't mean they both have the same destinies. Both of you are destined to pursue different things in life, she concluded. After trying to cheer Amanda by telling her what hers would come for her. But Amanda did not listen. She was so bitter, and then she walked out after giving an excuse that she needed to pee, which was what she used as an opportunity to take a break outside. Sometimes their parents would try to accelerate her and encourage her, but nothing seemed to ever make her happy. And she made up her mind that she wouldn't go to university and that she would work to become independent. She stopped wearing the same thing with her twin and became a different person. Chisom almost declined the scholarship, but she remembered her grandma's words, telling her that she would only regret it for the rest of her life and that she shouldn't decline it. So she heeded to it and prepared for the higher institutions. 2 months later, Chisom and Amanda were already done with their WAEC, and Chisom was already preparing for the higher institutions, whereby Amanda was still a different person, and after 3 weeks, Chisom left, and Amanda was full of outrage. Chisom tried to calm her down by promising her that she would visit always, but Amanda turned deaf ears and told her bye. Then she walked away sadly. while the rest of the family said farewell to her and embraced her. Then she left. When the family returned back, they looked for Amanda to make her happy and to cheer her up, but she was nowhere to be found. "Let's leave her for now. She'll be fine," the father concluded. Amanda didn't return home until evening, and immediately she headed to bed and slept. For days, she refused to eat at home and was eating outside. Life became too frustrating for her. She could no longer be the independent lady she wanted to be, so she began to eat at home, little by little, but was still angry at the fact that they allowed Chisom live that easily. No one could cheer her up, and so she began to do her things on her own. Every day she would go in search of jobs because she wanted a break from always being at home. One beautiful day, she finally got a job. Her salary was favorable, so she began to spend her money the way she wanted to. She got a new phone for herself and also some new outfits, and sometimes she would shop for the house. 3 months later, Chisom visited home. She was excited to see everyone, including her twin, who only said welcome and walked away, which got Chisom really sad. But because of the joy in her home, she decided to put on a smile on her face. She bought some goods for the home and handed them some cash after promising them that she would stay 1 week in her next visitation, so she left. That evening, when Amanda returned home and didn't say anything to anyone, so she headed straight to her bed. A week later, Amanda quitted her job, saying she could no longer continue and that she wanted to go further with her writing skills and take it seriously. She was a gifted writer, while Chisom was good at dancing, so she published one of her books that she had long written about Africans and their culture. At that period, her sister came around again for a short break. Everyone welcomed her except Amanda, who was forming all busy. Whenever Chisom tries to approach her, she always gives excuses that she was busy when she continued with her writings, and Chisom would walk out sadly. One day, their mother sent them on an errand to deliver something somewhere, so the grandma said she was going to walk with them since she needed to stretch her body often. So she went along with the twins. Chisom and her grandma were talking and laughing, while Amanda, who didn't want to be a part of the conversation, started walking on her own and decided to cross the road. Whereas in the process, since she wasn't watching carefully out of annoyance, she almost got hit by a car. But Chisom, who saw the car coming, quickly rushed to save her sister, but got hit instead and landed on the floor with her legs bleeding, and immediately the car owner got down from the car and apologized. Then he quickly rushed her to the hospital with Amanda and her grandma with them. Chisom was unconscious and was still bleeding, so they rushed her to a room for treatment, while Amanda, who was all the way speechless, cried profusely. She couldn't stop blaming herself for everything and hated the fact that she ever ignored her sister. While their parents, after they got the information, they rushed to the hospital, and when they saw their daughter, who was just smiling some hours ago on a sick bed, they couldn't help but feel sad, and they started crying, especially her mother, who was more emotional. Everything would be fine, their grandma assured them. They wanted to know what exactly happened, so their grandma explained everything to them, and that made Amanda feel so sad, so she walked out and decided to be alone for a while. That day passed, and Chisom was still in the hospital, unconscious. Of course, her family was still there for her, but at a point, they had to take shifts because they needed to go home to refreshing. except Amanda, who refused to, saying she must be with her sisters till she regains consciousness. She refused to bath, brush her teeth, nor eat. She said her sister had not done so she wouldn't. So her family left her to her decision. The family remained in the hospital, waiting and praying for Jesus to regain consciousness. And eventually, by evening, she did, and the family were full of joy. Later at night, she was discharged after getting some medications for her, and they all went home. The next morning, Amanda and her grandma were with Chisom, and they were all jesting and laughing when Mrs. Kelechi, who is their mother, walked to them and told Amanda of a good news which she had just received. She told her she received a call from one of her uncles who lives abroad, saying he loved Amanda's book and that he would love to sponsor Amanda's writing career over there in the United Kingdom. When Amanda heard the news, she got flabbergasted. "Mama, are you saying I'll be going over there?" she asked her mother, and her mother, who was full of joy, told her yes, and that she'll be leaving by next week. Amanda couldn't believe her ears. Felt like magic, and that day she was full of excitement. Her family, including her twin sister, was happy for her, which made her feel bad at a point, and she regretted ever feeling angry and jealous about her sisters leaving for school. She apologized to her, and of course, Chisom forgave her. Then their grandma sat them down and talked to them about purpose and destinies. All families aren't born with the same destinies, she said. Everyone has their own destiny and purpose to fulfill. So let's always learn how to be happy for one another when something good comes up. We're not competing with one another. Just focus on your goal and head there, she concluded, and then the twins got her message and thanked her. A week later, Amanda was fully ready to leave. She didn't want to leave her twin, but remembered her grandmother's words, so she promised them all that she would come back for them and make them proud. Then she left. Chisom was mixed with joy and sadness. She was happy that her sister was getting a better life and was working towards her dream, and sad because she wouldn't be seeing her sister for years, which she cried about, and sometimes, although they were able to communicate regularly. 2 years later, Amanda returned home. She was looking all stunning and beautiful. Her family admired her, and so did her twin, who was also at home for a short break. Amanda was full of excitement to see all her family still together. She told them she was now an independent lady, and she stocked the house with groceries. And after 2 months, she moved her family to a better home, a more comfortable home, full of luxury, and her family thanked her. 3 months later, she returned back to the United Kingdom, taking her sister with her to further her education.